We all have too much to do. Work responsibilities, school and study, our home obligations, our personal life. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's no surprise. You try to set priorities and juggle everything, but at the end of the day, you're exhausted and only half of the work is getting done. So you start getting up earlier and working later, and then you start working on the weekends. And it's still not enough. Now, imagine the total opposite, a day where you start with just 3 priorities. That's right, just 3. And you get those 3 things done by the end of the day, and you feel good about it. And those 3 things have moved you closer to your goal. It could be a life goal, a work goal, personal improvement. Imagine that you repeat this day after day and week after week. You're completing your top 3 priorities with no procrastination. Now, what impact would that have on your business or even your life? If you're like me, it makes all the difference in the world. So how do you get there? How do you reduce a tidal wave of things to do down to just 3 priorities each day? Well, here are the principles that make that work. Number 1, get clarity. Number 2, truly commit. Number 3, reset each morning. And number 4, stay human. I have a guide that goes into more detail, but here's a quick preview. Number 1, get clarity. Pretty obvious, right? But not easy. So how do you get clear on which 3 things are most important every day? Here's the deal. There isn't just one method that works for all people in all situations. There are simple processes and others that are highly complex. So what's an example of a simple process? Oiling the squeaky wheel. You simply attend to the loudest complaining voice in the room. That's pretty simple. It's one we have all used. It's rarely the best option. Well, my guide covers a variety of ways you can prioritize. Things such as the Eisenhower method and the 80-20 rule. Now, you've surely heard of these. I have those and many more, including some I'm sure you've never heard about. Step 2, truly commit. This is another obvious one, perhaps. If we get our priorities straight and we're truly committed, then every project should succeed, right? Well, I've already mentioned how we don't get our priorities straight, and we really don't truly commit either. So what does true commitment look like, and how do we get there? I'll cover that in detail in the guide. Step number 3, reset every morning. Completing a project sometimes feels like you're at war against external influences, random events, and sometimes even against our own nature. Every day is like a battle. Some we win, some we lose. At the start of each day, we need to take note of any lessons learned and then erase the win or loss of the prior day. If it was a win, so what? Today is a new day and you need to do it all over again. If yesterday was a loss, shake it off. The only thing that matters is what happens today. Step number 4, stay human. Setting priorities has lost the human element. The only way to succeed is to restore it. We're not robots. We can't expect 24/7 perfection. We need to take into account our human nature and our idiosyncrasies. The only way we're going to succeed at setting priorities is to do this. My guide will show you many ways you can take this into account. Now, each one of these 4 steps might be considered by some to be obvious or, worse yet, platitudes. It's easy to say, get clarity, commit, reset, and stay human. Sure, but we're not doing it. We're failing. We need help, a method, a procedure, some way to make sure we're staying on track. That's why I've created the guide. When we follow these 4 steps and learn to finish 3 things each day, we can make our productivity skyrocket. Now, these aren't productivity hacks. A hack is what I would call a trick to gain leverage without putting in the work. It's a way to beat the system, if you will. Let's not lie to ourselves. This takes effort. It is hard work. But if you're up for the challenge, sign up for my guide and I'll show you how.